Hey guys, it's Sniff, back playing Growth Academy again. Okay, well, we still need to win the heart of Alice, so let's get to it. If you want to play this game for yourself, there will be a link in the description. In case you haven't seen the last two episodes, I recommend you watch those for context, but basically, we're at a school where everyone is growing big, and we are trying to win the heart of Alice. Necessity is the mother of employment. I think the library is this way. Maybe? Wait, that bulletin board doesn't look familiar. I was supposed to turn left back there.
Amazing!
Oh, I think I know that voice.
Simply superb. Where did you study? I didn't. I just sort of taught myself.
Ada, oh yeah, here.
So modest. These are fantastic. Oh, Hatsuri-san. Hatsuri-san, what brings you here?
I was walking by and overheard you two. What's supposed to be so awesome?
This souffle Kodama-san is prepared. I've had more than my share of disappointment with what passes for French cuisine in Japan, but this is delightfully surprising.
Oh, is it really that good? Can I try some? Ada, I didn't know you were a cook. Oh, is it really that good?
Well, it's not to say you would find it on the dessert menu of a 5-star restaurant, but for a college student working with the ingredients and facilities on hand, this is almost revelatory. I can already see my judgment was sound as ever to invite her into my service.
Can you do that? Are you allowed to have students in your, as your servants? Invite who?
I would have thought our previous discussions made it clear that I'm in need of a reliable assistant, since the school in its short-sightedness has prohibited me from allowing my servants to accompany me. Despite this setback, I have found a workable solution. Fortunately, it almost seems destined that my roommate would turn out to be perfectly suited to act as my right-hand woman during my time at the school.
I think I missed something. Look, Alice, I know you're a queen, but it's just hey, you're my roommate. Could you please cook amazing meals for me? Okay.
I've decided not to let the loss of my servants hold me back. Just because I cannot have trained professionals on hand to help me does not mean I need to shoulder all of their usual duties onto myself. And Kodama-san is all too eager to fill the role of my servants while I'm left to fend for myself here.
Look, I mean, look, if Ada thinks that's cool, you know, who am I to say no? I mean, look, I want to serve and cook for Alice as well. That's literally why we're here. So, who am I to judge? Seems like you're asking a bit much of your roommate.
Nonsense! Kodama-san is more than qualified to act as my personal assistant, and she's eager to start right away. Aren't you, Kodama-san? Yes, ma'am.
Cheers. Well, I guess that's fortunate for you. So you're paying her, or do you really just want to be her maid? Again, like I say, I can't judge. Look, if she's hiring a butler to, I don't know what my skills are, but look, I'm here, my queen. Cheers. Well, I guess that's fortunate for you.
It is. I would have survived just fine had I been left to my own devices, but people like me, those of us who are always looking at the big picture and have so many things to worry about, we benefit from having dedicated subordinates. Having someone to cook for me frees up time and energy I can devote to other things.
What other things do you mean?
Anything. My studies, my hobbies, entrepreneurial pursuits. I'll have you know I'm no slouch. I keep a tight schedule to maximize each day's productivity.
I guess if she's okay helping you, then there's nothing wrong with that.
Why wouldn't she be okay? I'm giving her focus and direction at a time when she needs it most. All of us have been blindsided by the news of the school, and I think the best way to deal with it is to carry on as always. After all, it's what I'm doing.
Maybe you have something there. You certainly aren't letting all this get to you, like some of the others I've seen. Does Alice look like the kind of woman who would let anything at all get to her, besides being denied her friggin' servants?
Of course I could use more help. It's a full-time job being me.
It is, Alice. It is such a hard job being as fabulous as you are.
And I'm always looking for people I can count on to help me. Would you be interested in such a position?
She offered us the job. Of course. Well, you never know, but I guess I could think about it. You idiot! Of course! I could probably use the extra money, but I don't know if I need it bad enough to become Alice's personal butler. That's literally what I was saying. That's literally Keisuke, you fool! This is what we want! Sure, she's pretty cute. She is a queen! But I'll be in the friend zone forever if I just fold to her every whim. Ah, this guy's been playing Super Seducer, I see. He knows the lady. He knows how to get them right. He knows all about the friend zone and how to keep out of that. I guess.
Very well, but don't complain if I find someone else in the meantime. Exactly, we have to take her offer.
Alright, where are we going now? Sharpening the senses. Let's see this one. The first day of class was certainly interesting. Bizarre, surreal, confusing. All manner of strange and unsettling characterizations come to mind, but I chose to stick with interesting for the sake of my own sanity. Normally I'd like to sleep in as late as feasibly possible, while still avoiding being late to class. I was pretty good at the first part, but haven't mastered the second, even after 18 years of practice. After recent events, I'm not too sure who would have slept soundly all through the night. Well, maybe Tomo. I don't think she'd even wake up for a firestorm during an earthquake. Since I was already awake, I decided to just get up and get ready for class. After getting dressed, I was ready to head out. I cracked the door open to leave when I noticed a lanky, clammy hand slowly shoving the door back shut. Oh yeah, that guy. My roommate. I'm pretty sure he said his name was Daichi. How did I not notice him standing there before? Good morning?
That remains to be seen. The morning hasn't started yet.
Right, I suppose? Did you need something?
Do you know why you're here?
Because I have some kind of growth or something? I'm not...
Yes, I know what they told us. I'm asking you the real reason you're here.
Are you implying that the real reason is something different than what we were told?
I'm asking the questions here.
I don't know anything about this man. I don't know anything more than you, Daichi. Jesus.
But the answer is yes. Well, perhaps. Probably at least.
Was there something unconvincing about seeing a man with a meter-long tongue talk about body parts growing in unusual ways?
No, but maybe that's the point. A little too convincing.
My eyes were beginning to glaze over at this point. It was a bit too early in the morning to put on a tinfoil hat. Well, I mean, if anything ever made someone put on a tinfoil hat, it's probably this. This doesn't usually happen in real life. Oh my god, he looks like a freaking anime detective right now.
Think about it. What better way to get students to completely fall in line and accept what they've been told than to be shown something that seemingly confirms the story they've planted in our minds?
I did think about it. I saw it and now I can't forget it, even if I wanted to. That was the point, and Tashi Sensei did a pretty good job because I'm convinced. Huh, special effects, man, they can do a lot with them.
Tch, don't be so quick to accept just anything, you sheeple. You ever heard of the expression, don't believe anything you hear, and only half of what you see?
No, but in light of this conversation, it sounds like useful advice. Tell him he's not making sense, it's just humor. We'll humor this man. Alright, I'm listening.
Look, you can't just accept at face value people will tell you everything you want to know from them. It takes real skill to read between the lines and extract everything out of them.
Skill? Like what kind of skill? More to the point, what are you even talking about?
Well, aside from good intuition and a healthy sense of skepticism...
this guy would have been popular in like early 2010s YouTube, a true skeptic.
Both of which you are sorely lacking. Most people respond more favorably to people with skills they respect. That's where you have to read between the lines, to figure out someone's tics. Then maybe they'll open up to you more. You always seem like someone who's more athletically inclined. People that are always active respect that kind of stuff. Regardless of your forte, rest assured, if you don't keep all your skills sharp, you will miss things.
Why are you telling me this?
Because someone here must know something about why we're here, something more. I want you to be on the lookout. Get some feelers out there. Report back to me if you find any interesting tidbits.
Aye aye, Captain Weirdo. I mean, admittedly, being detective about the school sounds like an interesting enough plotline. Sure, I'll try to keep that in mind. Can I go now?
Yes, I don't have anything else. For now. Just remember what I told you. Stay sharp.
Yeah, no problem. See you in class, I guess? Daichi had walked back to his side of the room, already completely engrossed with typing away at his laptop, oblivious to my presence after having just cornered me for an impromptu interrogation. Not bothering to wait for a response, I just headed out the door. Daichi was certainly eccentric, to put it lightly. As off-putting as their initial interactions had been, I decided not to judge him too harshly for it. We've all been thrust into something no one could have really prepared for. People cope with the stress of the unknown in different ways, and I didn't know the guy well enough to know if that was his true personality, or he just needed some time to wind back down. I wasn't holding out for the latter anytime soon, though. Still, though, there was something about his advice to read between the lines that stuck with me. That I'd be missing out if I didn't develop myself to my full potential. Something to think about, at least. More importantly, though, this was the start of something new. There were a lot of new people to meet. Hopefully, someone worth getting to know. Alright, getting to know your roommate. We can spend more time with Daichi, let's go! Free periods. Oh, we can work on the athletics, art, books. Oh, what? I wonder what Alice likes. We have to find out more. I tried to study for today's quiz the night before, but boredom and sleepiness got the better of me. I decided to get up early instead and squeeze in a cram session before class. Boy, was that ever a stupid idea. I could barely drag my bottom out of bed to go to class on time on the best of days. But I somehow managed to convince myself last night I was going to study for hours on end before it even started. I couldn't even focus with my bed being in the same room, so I decided the library might be a more productive setting. It was still fairly early, not that many people around. Admittedly, I can't imagine too many things when the library would be a student's first destination of the day. Feel pretty empty, but I did manage to notice someone I recognized. Alice! Of course, at the library, like a true intellectual. I didn't expect to see her here of all places. Figured she'd be having tea and croissants for breakfast while Ida gave her a manicure or something like that, instead of seeing her this early in the library. She looked pretty busy too. She had a laptop in front of her with what looked like multiple spreadsheets pulled up and a bunch of files with documents near her workplace. Part of me didn't want to bug her, but a familiar face felt more inviting than the rest of the empty study area. Hey, Nukamari-san, mind if I sit here? Alice briefly glanced up from the work she was doing on her laptop to acknowledge my presence, before redirecting her attention back to her screen.
You're certainly free to. Please though, just call me Alice, especially since we're outside of class. I would prefer to speak more directly, rather than endlessly fussing over proper naming conventions, as so many others here seem to enjoy occupying themselves with.
Well, that works for me. Can't say I care too much for that stuff myself. I proceeded to sit down across the table from her and take out my notes.
Your first name was Keisuke, right?
Color me surprised she actually remembered it. Yup, you got it. So, Alice, what brings you into the library so early today? Alice looked up again from her work to look at me, clearly not expecting I would continue to try to engage her in conversation after the initial pleasantries.
Oh, well, normally I would be working on my finances in my room, but I requested Ada to make a particular dish, and it proved to be too distracting with the clanging of the pots and pans. So I decided this would be a less distracting atmosphere.
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to distract you if you needed the peace and quiet.
You needn't worry. I would have expressed my wishes for you to sit elsewhere if that were the case.
She's okay with us sitting beside her. I will always be beside you if you need me, my queen. Look, guys, I know I'm being a simp in this game, but like, what? You want me to not, like, simp for this lady? I mean, look, we can go and talk to the friggin' annoying glasses girl if you want.
It was the particular cacophony of the kitchen I found distracting more so than anything. Besides, I'm always finished there anyway.
Well, that's good then. What are you working on? You said something about finances. Is that for a class?
Class? No, this is just part of my regular management of my financial investments. You know, stocks, bonds, market accounts, private equity, any sort of appreciable assets.
She's an investment girl? Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool, Alice. That's cool then. Cool. Yeah, Robin Hood, Dogecoin, something like that, I guess.
Very standard stuff. I'm sure you have your own portfolio that you manage as well. No need to get into the details.
Can't say I do, to be honest. I haven't really thought about that kind of stuff much.
Seriously? Well, that won't do. How do you expect to save for the future and build your wealth if you aren't putting your money to work?
Putting my money to work? I don't think 0 yen is gonna get much work done. Damn, we're poor. Well, guess I haven't really considered I had enough savings to put towards investing.
But that's precisely the problem, don't you see? Even a small investment grows over time, especially if you start early. You're never going to earn anything with a wait-and-see attitude. Just look at me. I'm always on the lookout for a new investment opportunity or a promising new business venture. A little time and due diligence pays dividends. Surely you can understand that.
Yeah, I guess. I just didn't pick you as for the entrepreneurial type. You sound like you know a lot about this kind of stuff. But why all this? Sounds like you've got plenty of money already. Let's not pick this one. I mean, look, Jordan Belfort of Anime Girls, I suppose we have here. I hope not quite that bad. You sound like you know a lot about this kind of stuff.
Well, maybe a little. Admittedly, I'm still learning, but I'm determined to carve my own path in the business world. I can't just rely on my father's name to accomplish that. Besides, I simply wouldn't be satisfied with a life of idle luxury, knowing that my talents were being wasted.
Her father has a big business? Well, how about, Alice, I have a great idea. You split that business up and give it away.
After all, it takes hard work and initiative to succeed in business, life, and love.
I wonder what she's getting at with the last part. Keisuke is already letting his mind wander. This is true. I'm trying to do better with how I invest my time by coming here to study this morning.
I see. It appears you're already catching on then.
Seems like this stuff keeps you pretty busy then.
Yes, this is true. You have to keep on top of investments if you want them to work for you. Short-term assets in particular require a lot of monitoring. I've been reviewing my portfolio's performance in order to trim the fat. Upon review, it's apparent that some of these assets were not pulling their weight as initially speculated. These energy sector investments in particular were a bust. But to answer your question from earlier, the reason why I'm working on this now is because the markets are open. I want my purchase orders to go through immediately. I don't want to place them at the end of the school day after hours once the market closes.
You seem pretty involved in this. I thought wealthy people would others manage their money for them. God, she is on r/stocks. She's one of those people. Oh no. Have you bought any NFTs yet, Alice? I'm sorry.
Being ignorant of your own finances is a surefire way of becoming a victim of embezzlement. It is true that my family employs a staff of professionals to manage our finances, but that doesn't mean my parents are not actively managing their own money. My father gave me some seed money to create an investment portfolio that I would manage. He wanted me to learn from experience what it means to earn and manage your own money. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. I'll have you know I've managed to earn, on average, a yearly 18% appreciation since I started.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Just 18%, that doesn't sound like much. Wait, 18%, that's like a lot. Wait, 18%, that's like a lot.
Oh, so it seems you do know a little bit about investing then.
Like, dude, you know how much banks give you? It's like, okay, like 2%. And that's like generous. That's them being generous. 18% is crazy.
Most people seem to think investments constantly earn in excess of plus 100% returns. A mere fantasy of the financially illiterate. Given the average market last year, most people would count it fortunate to just not be in the red. I think I managed to do pretty well if I do say so myself.
Pretty well? Seems a bit of an understatement. Think you'd be interested in managing my investments?
Silly boy, then how will you ever learn to do so yourself? Besides, you can't afford me.
I wasn't being serious.
As you understand, my time is quite valuable. The money I spend to employ an assistant to take care of the more mundane day-to-day tasks is more than compensated for with the return I can make by focusing my efforts on business matters. Some people look at that and think I don't understand the value of money. Absolutely laughable. Now let's see. It appears I've finished the task I needed to accomplish here for the day. Unfortunately, I have to take my leave, Keisuke. I must admit, it was pleasant to converse with someone about finances without having their eyes glazed over for a change.
Understandable that would make people's eyes glaze over. Whatever you talk about, Alice, will always be interesting. Unironically, though, that was actually a reasonable, interesting discussion.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you around.
Well, that was certainly interesting. I thought I had her pegged for as a spoiled princess type. She's a lot sharper and ambitious than I gave her credit for. Elon Musk waifu. She's certainly a lot nicer if you get on her good side too. I spend the rest of the time before class trying to study for the quiz. I tried to focus, but it was a lot less interesting than the conversation I just had with Alice. The results are in. I I let a groan slip out from my lips as I swung my arm over to grab my phone and silence my infernal alarm. Daichi, you... I sat up in bed and looked around. Huh? The heck is he? I put my elbows on my knees and rubbed my eyes. Today, instead of normal classes, was something that Tashi-sensei had called Measuring Day. Oh! What exactly are we measuring anyway? Height or something? I got out of bed and staggered into the bathroom. I did up my toothbrush and started scrubbing away at my teeth in a sleepy sort of manner. Is Measuring Day about factors, maybe? Like, is it going to tell all of us what we're going to be dealing with? Do I even have anything? I finished with my teeth and examined my face in the mirror. I didn't really have anything prominent that I could really imagine swelling like crazy on me. But then again, who said it had to be prominent? Tashi-sensei did say we're here because we, or a sibling, have expressed a certain trait that causes unusual growth. Wait, crap, what about Tomo? What if she has something crazy, like some sort of crazy muscle growing gene or something? Then you'll have a great bodyguard in your family who can protect you. Sounds awesome. ... Or tongue growth. God. I walked back into my room and got uniformed up, then headed promptly outside, trying my damnedest to keep my fears internalized. As I made my way inside the classroom building, I glanced down the hall. Up ahead were most of my classmates, all seeming to be waiting, much like I was.
Hatsune-san!
Oh, hello, Miyukimaru-san.
Please, I've told you before, call me Alice. Formalities are for business. I find them so tiresome in normal conversation.
Okay, Alice, but you called me Hatsune-san.
Because you're expecting it, of course. In any case, I trust you are adjusting to your new setting. Settling into a new routine by now?
As well as anyone, I suppose.
Good to hear. Some find adherence to your routine to be restrictive, but I find the gains in productivity from an optimized schedule to be far more freeing than leaving idle time for its own sake.
When we got to room 3B, Tashi-sensei was standing at the front of the room. He nodded at us as well. We all came in. Alright everyone, today is measuring day for this class. In layman's terms, it's the day when you all learn the nature of your specific factor. You'll be taken privately into separate areas and have the basics of your factor laid out for you. From there, the rest of the day will consist of measurements and such, to essentially give each of you a starting baseline.
Baseline?
So, I'll be leading you all into the gym where everything will be occurring. Matsumoto-san, would you mind getting everyone together?
Understood. Everyone, please form a line at the door. Single file, please.
I know what we're hoping for, guys. I know what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. The auditorium had been set up with what amounted to a field clinic. Privacy dividers erected in a series of squares, with various testing and measuring devices set on folding tables. I noticed that unlike at my previous schools, it seemed there were no student volunteers. Every station seemed to be manned by a medical professional of some sort. Alright, Class 3B over by this wall. Alphabetically, please. I lined up by the wall near the front of the line. Due to the nature of the alphabet, Hanuka was right behind me.
Nervous, Kei-chan?
Maybe a bit. Helps that everyone here is in the same boat, though. I could see other classes lining up as well, but couldn't really make out any familiar faces among them, not even Tomo. The lines were small, but given how thoroughly they were measuring everyone, I suppose being here meant there was a much wider set of variables that could be changing. Each person took as long as several might at my older schools. I didn't have much time to think about it, though. My name was one of the first few called up. I was directed first to a small cubicle in the corner, where I was to hear the specific results of my growth factor test. I went into the little corner cubicle, holding in my tracks as soon as the nurse turned to face me.
Hello, Hatsune-san. Please have a seat. My name is Hitomi Kiyomi, or as I usually go by, Nurse Kiyomi.
I sat on the stool, my amazement at the size of her lips only slightly eclipsing my amazement that she could talk without a lisp. Good grief. They were so enormous and puffy, I literally couldn't see her chin. The top curve of her upper lip nestled against the bottom of her nose. Jeez, okay then. What was more, she had decided to cover them in bright red lipstick. I mean, why not? Show off what you got. It was nearly impossible not to stare as she looked down at a clipboard full of papers.
So, your growth factor has been confirmed to be... Here, you like them?
No, I mean, yes, I mean they're... Her lips actually managed to pull out into a smile, making nearly the entire bottom half of her face hidden behind them.
It's alright, I know they can be surprising. Whenever I go off campus, I have to wear a surgical mask or I can hardly do anything for all the gawking and questions.
I just nodded and looked away, wondering what I would have to do to live a normal life.
Anyways, your growth factor. According to these results, you have hyperproductive hair follicles. Not hypertrichosis, so you don't need to worry about having to shave your nose and forehead and so on, but you'll definitely need to barber more often than most.
My hair? It's always grown like a weed. That's not really anything new. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess at least Keisuke's never gonna be bald, I guess, but like, I was hoping it was something gonna be... I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed.
Well, the degree is never certain, but remember that it's not fully manifested yet. Whatever rate of growth you're used to, it will increase by some amount, guaranteed.
I guess that's why his whole face is covered in hair, I suppose. That makes sense. And my sister? Does she have the same thing? Does she have anything at all?
I'm sorry, Hatsune-san, but I'm not allowed to share her medical information with anyone she hasn't specified.
But I'm a brother.
All the same, Hatsune-san, I can't.
I mulled over this for a few seconds while she wrote on a clipboard. So, that's it? Is like every hair follicle on my body going into overdrive?
Body and head hair grow at different cycles and intensities, so it's hard to say, but we'll be sure to check up on all of your growth throughout the year, so please try and keep a record of each time you cut any of your hair.
Oh no, body hair. I don't know if that's as good. Oh no. Do I have to?
No, but we're only here to help. If you're comfortable only knowing what you know now about your condition, we won't force you, but you still have to come in for measurements and such.
So, can I go?
Right after we take some blood, yes. Just sit still and roll up your sleeve.
I walked out of the nurse's cubicle, rubbing the cotton ball taped to the crook of my elbow. Next was the height and weight measurements, then an eye test, then several other stations I didn't even know the purpose of. I craned my neck to see over the various heads. Who am I kidding? Tomo wasn't that tall. But come on, where is she? I walked on to the next station where my height and weight would be taken. God, still nothing. About half an hour of measurements later and I was free of all the poking and prodding. Where the heck is Tomo? I glanced around one last time for any sight of my sister and sighed. She should be here. What the heck? Is it so hard just to get a damn answer? I guess I'll find her later. Oh man, well, okay then. You've super long hair. I don't know. I was really hoping for something a bit harder, I guess. Harder hitting, that is, than hair growth. But what can you do? What can you do, I guess? But yeah, I think that is where we will finish up this video, but hopefully we will be back with another one soon. If you're interested, definitely check this game out. Shout out to all the people who worked on this. Really loving this so far. The ladies are great, the design is great, the writing is really good. I'm actually like interested in a lot of like the story elements of this game, so good work there. Thanks for watching everyone. We will be back with another video tomorrow as always. Take care. Bye bye!